Yeah. Good afternoon, Professor. Good afternoon, Andrea. How are you today?
Good afternoon, dear professor. Good afternoon, Elsa. Yes, I am okay. And you?
I'm very well, thank you. Are you ready to talk about some implications?
Yes, of course. You can start.
Okay, I'm gonna start with the first one. The first implication is the policies. At the first, I'm gonna give you a little introduction, okay? At the first, I'm going to talk about education. Education aims at the development of the individual faculties through the transmission of knowledge and values. Thus, an educational policy is a set of state action that seek optimize the practice carried out on the field education. This is a tool for many governments to become involved in the way in which knowledge produced and distributed in the society. It is very important to bear in mind that access to the education is a human right that all states must guarantee. Finally, educational policy refers to all laws, regulation, and process that they design and implement to achieve particular educational goals. In my case, educational policy in my high school, Unidad Educativa Ciudad de la UCI, seek to put at the end the inequality of the society with a special emphasis on the most vulnerable social sectors so that students have access to the educational system through this compulsory education in the teaching learning process. Okay, Andrea, now I want to share some questions with you. Are you ready?
Yes, please. You can tell me.
Okay, the first question for you is, what is the warranty by the educational policy?
Okay, I consider that the main purpose is achieve all the goals and skills it developed or proposes by the Minister of Education.
Okay, great answer. The next question is, what is the role of the teacher is fulfill the educational policy?
Well, I consider that the teacher must be prepared in order to help students to achieve their goals and have a good and excellent learning.
Yes, great. I am agree with you, Andrea. The last question for you is, what is the focus of your institution educational policy?
Okay, as we as a religious institution, the main objective is to form students with religious values and capable to developing in the real life.
Excellent, very good. Okay, in conclusion, I can say that I can say the following. Ecuador is committed to comply with quality standards which are proposed educational goals, such as stringent and bordering the participation society in the educational activities to provide an equality education without discrimination, like physics, ethnic, or emotional condition. Finally, educational policy intensifies educational conditions with especially emphasize on students with special needs, or NEE, as you know, in our high schools. So that through their compulsory education, students have access to the formal education systems, remain and progress, and eat and graduate with learning and skills necessary to develop as full criticisms. Thank you, Andrea. I'm sure about the first implication. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much, Elsita. It is a good topic. I really pleasure to talk to you. Now, let's going to continue with the next slide, please.
Okay, I'm gonna share.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's going to talk about another implication that we have here that is an interesting one, that is the assessment. The assessment is a system in order to evaluate students' learning and students' progress. For this reason, we have to consider I have to consider the following topics that we have here. Let's go and start with the types of evaluation. As every teacher knows, Here we have three kind of evaluation, that is the diagnostic part, the formative, and summative. The diagnostic is applied at the beginning of each year in order to identify the student's level. After that, we have the formative assessment. In the formative assessment, we can apply different activities that are not be graded. And also the teacher provides a feedback in order to help the students to improve or refers a specific topic. And finally, we have the summative assessment. In this part, we apply activities in order to evaluate the student's progress or the student's learning. Let's going to continue with the learning report. As we have the partial, the midterm, and the annual. For example, in my case, in my institution, in the partial, at the end of the partial, we don't apply any test. We consider as the final grade, we consider like the develop of a project. I don't know. What about you, Elsa? In order to evaluate, to identify, to achieve, to identify the student level, what kind of activity do you develop?
Okay, Andrea. In our institution, at the end of each partial, we take a test, a multiple choice, a multiple choice test or a structured test. No more. This is the way how to evaluate at the end of each partial. No use another method. This only.
Okay, interesting. That is something different according to my institution. We as a institution, we evaluated only in the midterm exam. We apply this kind of exam in order to apply all the skills developed, and we can apply it, and we can take into account 7 questions over 10. Finally, we have the annual. In the annual is the average from the 2 midterm exams, from those 2 finals, right, from midterms, and that's all. And also, we also consider like an important topic is to talk about the academic reformment. For example, all the institutions are required to give extra classes like academic reinforcement to students who didn't achieve all the skills. For example, in my case, students who had a low grade, these kind of students have to come to the class and receive an extra classes. Also, we have to get a permission from their parents. And what about you, Elsa? Do you have an academic reinforcement?
Okay. At the end of each partial, the authorities in our high school ask us to apply the academic reformment, but this is based in the knowledge. The academic reformment is based to improve the knowledge, but knowing grades. Obviously, with the parents' permission, at the end of the classes with the student that they have the low grades. But we focus on to increase the knowledge that the many things that the students didn't understand during the whole classes. No more. This is only.
Yes, that is the same that in my institution.
Yes.
And here we have an extra topic, like we have the extra exam. As everybody knows, that is a controversial topic because for the future years, we are going to apply only one exam. That is not the same that we have in order to get to the students pass to the year. They don't have the grade, the considered grade. They have to take another kind of exam. Like we have a supplementary exam, we have remedial exam, and graduate exam. And this kind of exam helps students to to apply to take this exam in order to pass the year. But for the future years, we are not going to have the 3 exam. We are going only to apply the supplementary exam. What do you consider? Are you agree or disagree?
Okay.
Ilsa?
Well, from my point of view, I am very agree that the Minister of Education in our Ecuador country has eliminated the remedial and the grades exam because there are a lot of students during the whole academic year don't show any interest. And at the end of the academic year, they have a lot of opportunities and they are convinced that they will pass the academic year without problems. For this reason, I agree with this law, with this new item for this new academic year. Andrea.
Yes, I totally agree with you because students have a lot of opportunities. Okay. Yes, of course. Like in a conclusion, we have to take into account that the assessment are the activities in order to evaluate the student's progress. This kind of activities must be graded, must be formative, and another kind of activities must be summative. But the most important here is to achieve all the goals and also try to help students to get a significant learning. It doesn't matter if we don't know apply all the skills because at the end of the partial, obviously if you don't have the opportunity to achieve all the skills, you can try to change the activities. Okay, thank you very much, Alcita. It is a pleasure to work with you.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. It's very necessary to take account the two implications because it's very important in our practice as a teacher. Thank you, Andrea. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.